Hello, welcome to Blade of Scripture, where we read the Bible daily, except today we are not reading the Bible, we are doing chapter summaries of everything we've read so far. I don't have any other chapter summaries in this notebook, I only have up until 3, so I'm just going to go straight from the Bible today. So Genesis chapter 4, this is where Adam and Eve make love and they have Cain and Abel. So Cain is the firstborn and he works the soil, while Abel is the secondborn and I'm pretty sure he takes care of the flock. They both bring offerings to the Lord, and God is like, okay, Abel, yours is awesome. And then he's like, Cain, yours isn't very good. So Cain is upset about this, and he goes over to Abel, and he's like, hey, let's go into the field together real quick. And Abel's like, yeah, let's go. When they get into the field, Cain kills Abel. When God finds this out, he puts a mark on Cain and curses Cain to be a restless wanderer. Then Cain's all freaked out because he's like, oh my gosh, people are going to come kill me. And then the Lord's like, no, they're not, because if anyone kills you, they're going to be punished 7 times over. And then the rest of this is lineage, and then at the very end, Adam and Eve have another baby named Seth. Genesis chapter 5, this is also like the lineage, ancestry, all that stuff. And my big takeaway from all of this is people live a long time. People are living like 900 years during this time. And then Genesis chapter 6, this is when God realizes that humans are becoming purely evil and there's too much violence and too much corruption on the earth. This chapter also talks about the Nephilim, which are pretty much human-angel hybrids. Angels came down from heaven and saw the beautiful women on earth and mated with them. And then them mating created this hybrid race of people that are called Nephilim, and they're giants and they're super powerful. After God decides that the humans are too corrupt to be able to live, he goes to Noah and he's like, hey, you're a righteous man, so I'm going to pick you and your family to be the only ones that live. So he tells Noah to build a giant ark and gives him all the instructions, tells him how big it needs to be, all this stuff, and then tells Noah to bring himself, his wife, his sons, and his sons' wives, and also 2 pairs of every animal, male and female, and then multiple of the clean sacrificial animals. And then Genesis chapter 7, this is where God starts to flood the earth. So he tells Noah, his whole family, and all of the animals to get into the ark. So God pretty much floods the earth by pushing up all of the groundwater, and then he also breaks the firmament, and all of the water that was up in the firmament falls onto earth, and this is the first time it ever rains. So this goes on for 150 days and kills everything that's not on the ark. God closes the floodgates and sends a super big wind to recede all of the waters, so the water starts going down. Once everything's dried up, Noah, his family, and all of the animals go out of the ark, and now it's their job to completely repopulate the whole earth. That was Genesis chapter 8, by the way. I can't remember if I said that or not. And then Genesis chapter 9, this is God's covenant with Noah. This is where the rainbow comes in. For those of you who don't know, the rainbow is biblical. So the covenant that God's making is he's promising every living creature that he will never flood the earth again. So whenever a rainbow appears, it is God remembering his promise to Noah and every single living thing on earth that he will never flood the earth again.